Sa susunod na buwan na, gaganapin ang FIBA Asia Challenge Cup sa Iran kung saan isang bago at mas batang Gilas team ang magre-represent sa Pilipinas. Pero ilang araw lang bago i-announce ang training pool ng bagong Gilas squad, sinabi na ng agent ni Ray Parks na hindi siya makakasali sa team at dahil puro bagito at wala ring naturalized player tulad ni Andre Blatch ang bagong Gilas, ano nga ba ang tsansa nila na manalo sa tournament? Para sa usapan na yan, kasama natin ang sports journalist na si Rick Olivares at basketball analyst and blogger na si Enzo Plojo. Enzo, welcome back. Rick, welcome for the first time. Maraming salamat. At naswak yung mga schedule natin. We got you on the score finally.
Thanks. It's good to be here and it's good to be back here in ABS-CBN.
Right. Okay, game. Let's ask the first timer.
Go, Sir Rick. Go.
Okay. First things first. I mean, you followed the Gilas program for many years.
Since 2008.
Yun na nga, diba? This is the 5th iteration. Now they're back to the original plan, which was try to build a purely national team na hindi mo na magpo-pro. Anong naging reaction mo when they had to when they decided to go to this plan? Was it a no-choice kind of thing because of the new FIBA format? Or is it a thing that, we don't want to rely always on the PBA to give us all these players? Anong tingin mo dito?
Medyo complex yan, TJ and Enzo. Yeah. That's also kasi the answer to the FIBA, new FIBA calendar, competitions calendar. Hindi naman kasi hindi tayo pwedeng sumali. Masususpend tayo nito. So we have to feel the team. Nakita natin, itong mga bagito, itong young team na to, ito yung third time na gagawin ng ating NSA, no? Yeah. Medyo nakakatakot, marami nagsasound ng alarm. Yung unlike before, under Ron Jacobs and the old program, nag-succeed yun kasi hindi pa malalakas yung West Asian countries. Iba na yung usapan ngayon.
Correct.
So it's a lot more difficult. We saw that with the first smart Gilas team under Raiko Torreman. But the thing is, what you need are some older players to guide and prepare them, which is what we're seeing in Iran right now.
Correct, yeah.
They're bringing up the young ones, but you still see some of the older players there to guide and prepare them.
That's true.
So, I was talking to the coaching staff and Josh Reyes in particular, the head coach for this team, and expectations are unfortunately low considering wala nga tayong naturalized player. They're here not to lose, but to make a fight of it and soak up a lot experience.
The experience, that's key. Well, and just for the understanding of our audience, ano ba itong FIBA Challenge Cup? Ano ba ito? May bearing ba ito in the future? Kasi we're used to joining these FIBA Asia tournaments na, may premyo eh. You win this, you go to the Olympics. You win this, you go to the World Cup. What is this and how important is this tournament?
Well, it used to be known as the FIBA Asia Cup.
Okay.
Pero because of certain name changes ng ginawa ng FIBA, they're now named the FIBA Asia Challenge.
Okay.
Ang main implications ito for next year, the top 5 teams here get berths for their sub-zone for the FIBA Asia Cup in 2017.
Okay.
So let's say, in case the Philippines or Thailand finishes in the top 5, ang SIABA, instead of sending just 2 teams, we'll send 3.
Okay.
Parang ganoon for next year.
Okay.
So that's the main implication in terms of qualification for next year.
Okay.
So, pero maganda rin to kasi gaya ng sabi ni Sir Rick kanina, to soak up the experience. Many of these players, long term, baka yung iba dito maging part ng Gilas in the run-up to the 2019 World Cup, and they're gonna need this experience to be able to increase their level of competitiveness.
Rick, nung nakita mo yung pool, maliban sa lineup na isasalang nalalaban, it's a 24-man pool. What were your thoughts right away? And from how you know that they put this team together, ano naisip mo sa direction at plan ng pool na ito, ng tinatawag nilang 5.0?
Naawa ko sa SBP, sa totoo lang. I felt bad because this team is like the US team that we're seeing in the Olympics right now. It's who's available. That's what's happening. Because if you notice, even Enzo, dapat si Gio Halalon and even Ray Batak are supposed to be on that pool, on that wish list. But I don't think they're going to be released in time for this. So it's going to be Roger Pogoy, Carl Brian Cruz, Mike Tolomia, who will be carrying the cudgels. No? So it's the best team we can call at the moment. As I understand, some ang kagandahan nito, no? May tanong kasi, bakit wala tayong naturalized player? Yan, pinag-aaralan yan ngayon. According to my SBP sources, hindi lang tayo tumitingin ng possible NBA players to naturalize, but also even possibly some of the imports are playing in the PBA and some of the Africans playing in the collegiate ranks. So there's a carryover system. But of course, hindi basta-basta kung sino. They have to be able to play and develop themselves and fit the program that's being run. No?
Okay, pero hindi yun habulin for this tournament. Whatever is there is that.
Hindi na mahirap siya.
Okay, let's break it down a bit, Enza. You had a nice write-up about this team as well. You broke it down in terms of the bigs and the wings and the guards. Anong tingin mo? First of all, very important yung bigs. You're talking about going up against Asian teams na maraming malalaki. As Rick said, they're much more developed this time around. Kamusta yung rating mo ng mga big men sa pool na to?
Well, at the onset, I felt like the bigs were okay. I mean, you had, at first, before he got injured, JP Adam, who was having a very promising season in the pro ranks, no? Unfortunately, after his injury, hindi na siya pwede. And now you're left with, pinakamatangkad mo dyan, if he's available, would be Van Opstal, si Arne Van Opstal. And then maybe the 18-year-old guy, K. Mark Carino, who did well in the FIBA Under-18 championships this year. But apart from them, everyone else, you got Carl Brian Cruz, Chris Javier, Ponzo Gotladera. These are guys who are 6'5" and below. So may hirapan na. After Adam's injury, talagang medyo tagilid tayo in terms of the bigs. And so wings and the guards, same issues also. Size is always an issue in the Philippine team. And without Ray and without Kiefer also, the depth takes a big hit. And the experience, because those two guys have played in international competitions before as well.
Right. Rick, the logic of this being the core, somehow, from this 24-man pool, they're supposed to find the core for the 2019 team. Yung ba yung long-term vision ng SBP? Maliwanag ba yung mensahe nila na? So in other words, message also to the fans, let's be patient.
Yes, definitely.
Let's not expect wonders from this team.
Definitely. I think that some people are just too impatient to win. I mean, of course, we hope that hindi tayo tambakan, di ba? But, again, noong 2013, if I may go back to the FIBA Asia tournament that was held here, the India team that played here, they looked awkward, they looked clumsy.
That's true.
But if you look at them in the last few years, they brought that team together.
In China.
And they are smart.
Beat China 2 years ago.
They beat China. Diba? We weren't the only ones to beat China. They did too. But if you look at them, they play to their strengths. They know that they've got the height, they've got the length. So they play a lot to their strengths. I think itong team natin, one, it's rearing up those kids and getting them ready, then adding some key pieces and components from the PBA. And then looking for those choice and key components for naturalization. At this point, kasi it's going to take an act of Congress to get someone in there, which is not going to happen anytime soon.
Next 2 weeks.
So we have to pick our battles. Unfortunately, right now, as the expectations are, they're low, but it's to really soak up a lot of experience and get ready. Because they need the experience of high caliber competition. If you look at Iran, they're taking huge beatings right now, but they're looking at the bigger picture.
Yon. Okay, and I wanted to bring that one actually to Enzo. That's a great segue. Enzo, you follow the FIBA game a lot. You know that these other countries, ganun din eh. Knee-jerk reaction na, oy, bagong sistema, bagong format. We have to adjust. So, kamusta yung adjustment ng mga kalaban natin na lagi natin nakakatapat doon sa FIBA Asia? How are they adjusting?
Well, I like how Sir Rick mentioned Iran, because that's a perfect model, I think. Actually, we can follow that. No? Their national pool right now, siguro mga out of the 23 people there are about 15 people who are very, very young, about 22 and below. And then you have a handful of guys who have experience already.
Like Haddadi.
Like Haddadi and Sahakin and all these guys na they're gonna use that experience to teach these younger guys. And I think eventually that's a kind of balance that our Gilas program should eventually shoot for or have, no? You got teams from Korea. Yung initial pool nila, halos lahat 22 and under. And then they realized, hindi pwedeng ganun. They added 5 or 6 veterans again to their pool to add more experience. So, and again, that's the kind of model. Ideally, again, the issue, like what Sir Rick said kanina, is availability. If we have that availability, I think that's what we should shoot for, no? Balance of young guys moving up and the old grizzled veterans guiding those young guys.
I'd like to add something to what Enzo mentioned. This problem is not unique to us or even Iran.
Of course, everyone
it's
has
for
a
everyone,
challenge.
Even for the United States. I was talking to Craig Miller of USA Basketball a few weeks ago, and he said, it's a problem, but we don't want to think of it right now. We'd like to get the Olympics past us, and then we'll deal with it. Talking to the Eurobasket guys, it's the same thing. Even in France, it's the same thing. There's concern. So about the lending your pros, it's a problem right now. Like even Coach Josh Reyes cannot even run a proper practice because the D-League files are ongoing.
Correct.
So how can you get this team together? I think it's aligning everyone, but that's easier said than done.
Well, in the long term, we're hoping that keeping this core together for a long time will certainly help the cohesiveness, the teamwork, although they may lack in individual talent. Pero we're hoping that this is the solution as our backs are against the wall with this format and the system. So much to look forward to in the next month. So we'll see how this team progresses and how they battle and how they improve as well. So Rick, Enzo, great to have both of you. Sa ulitin ha. Next time, we'll get this group together again. Maraming salamat. Okay.
For more sports updates, keep watching The Score. And don't forget to subscribe.